So I'd like to talk about the lyrics, Andy. The lyrics of Fear of the Fallen. These lyrics are great. I have a friend. His name is Daniel Silveira. He studies philosophy and psychology, and he
Okay.
said that this lyrics has a powerful message. What's the message of these lyrics for you?
Well, I actually intentionally wrote it some 2 years ago, and for me it was uh, the old war between good and evil, and I took this Catholic belief thing, which when evil would overcome and mankind would get more and more into evil spirit or evil things, or even if a great war would come that
Yeah.
that could maybe nearly destroy mankind, there's always a secret group of angels or a group of a power which stands up and helps mankind before it's getting distinguished. And I love this idea because it's, for me, something that calms me down. And whatever happens in our world, there'll be a higher power which will help good to proceed. And so this is for me something like when I listen to the little Andy, the 6 or 7 years old Andy. It always gave me the peace to know there's a guardian angel, or there are guardian angels who watch over us. And actually, that's the whole thing about it. When you have to decide for good or bad, and sooner we are all in our lives, not only once, but more often in our lives, we see ourselves in that state where we have to decide: do we go for this or for this way? And sometimes we know exactly in our heart that's the wrong way. Sometimes we still go the wrong way because maybe it's more money or it's more power or whatever, but we know it's the wrong way. And in our life, we have not only to decide for right or wrong. I think it's a constant learning process. So I think everybody has to decide. I don't know. I remember I had to decide at least 3 times if I go for left or right, good or bad. There's always this temptation. Most of the time it's money. Sometimes it's love, where you do the wrong decision. Sometimes it's just power in a very theoretical way, where you think, okay, you can dominate, you can have power. And these are all decisions we have to make in our lives, not only once. But I think sooner or later, after, let's say, 20 or 30 years on this earth, I think you're an adult, you've seen a lot of things, and sooner or later you have to really decide for a side. When you're old enough, you definitely have to make your mind up, I think, for the rest of your life, where you stand. Do you stand in the brutal bad side, or which is only about money and greed and wealth and standing and, or if you go for that side where you go, okay, I stand for life. For me personally, I hope I decided for life. I realized money is only important if you don't have money. But when you have money, which guarantees you a daily meal and your kids are safe and can go to school and you have a roof over your head, I think you can't ask more of life, because you have everything then. Maybe you got a little car even outside. So you're considered to be a rich guy in this world. But I know there are so many people who do have everything, but still want more and more and more. Then the car is not big enough. It has to be a Mercedes. When you got the Mercedes, it's not big enough. You have to have a Ferrari, and so on and so on. So at the end of the day, where does it stop? Do you really need a Ferrari? It takes you from A to B. That's what a car is there for. So at the end of the day, I make my peace with myself, and I tell myself, okay, even if I have only a little small car outside, but I got a roof over my head, the fridge is filled, my son is healthy, I'm happy. What do I need more? And I think people who look for more and more and more and more are not really satisfied with their life itself. So the whole thing about fear of the fallen is about this system which turns into, we all want to have more and more and more. Even if you got everything, you want to have it better. And when you have the better version of your car or your house or whatever, then you want to have even more, and so on. Where does it stop? So that was the basic idea, where I say, okay, you've got to decide for life or decide for more. And I think that's the bad thing in our world that happens. Everybody wants to have more, even though he has already everything. Now you got like a super nice little guitar in the background, which means you got a guitar you can play with. But then you go like, oh, but there is a Gibson anniversary. I want to have that one. Yeah. Why would you need it? Do you really think you write better songs with a Gibson? You know what I mean? It's
yeah, I know. I got it.
It only costs you 10 times more, but at the end of the day, you will not be more successful. I mean, your philosophical friend is completely right. It's about philosophy, but I put it into a fantasy world, so to say.